Pia and this is Kini News. Cops have summoned DAP veteran Lim Kit Siang today over his non-Malay Prime Minister remarks made in November. According to Lim's lawyer, there were 27 sets of questions asked during the investigation session which lasted about an hour.
Tak lagi tiada siasatan dibuat di bawah kertas inquiry polis. Maknanya dia orang tak determine apa kesalahan lagi. Dia tengoklah sebab dah dapat laporan, so dia akan determine, dah ambil statement. Once ada statement, kalau didapati ada kesalahan dan diorang akan buat tindakan selanjutnya. Tapi sekat ni alhamdulillah semua okey.
Meanwhile, Lim defended his statements by saying that he was merely stating factual content from the federal constitution.
I think it is very clear in the constitution. Although it is a statement of a fact, it is a statement of not a statement of reality, as KJ has said in his podcast. I agree with him. But if Malaysia is going to be a great world-class nation, we are going to talk about the future.
During his talk with Malaysian students in Manchester last November, Lim said it took the US 230 years before Barack Obama, an African American, could become president. In his speech, which he later uploaded on his blog, Lim said he hoped it would not take that long for a non-Malay to become the Prime Minister of Malaysia. Under the federal constitution, the only requirement for someone to be Prime Minister, as per Article 43, Bracket 2, subsection A, is that the Premier be an MP who in the Yang di-Pertuan Agong's judgment has majority support. There are no other criteria attached for the appointment.
Meanwhile, human rights organizations Lawyers for Liberty is calling for a greater protection of freedom of speech in this country following two recent incidents.
Lawyers for Liberty has slammed the probe against DAP veteran Lim Kit Siang and the charging of Selangor Menteri Besar's political secretary JJ Dennis for practicing freedom of speech. It says Putrajaya is sending an unhealthy message that is beyond criticism and reproach. Director Zaid Malik said the action of the police in both of these instances is an affront to the constitutionally guaranteed right of freedom of expression under Article 10, Bracket 1, subsection A of the Federal Constitution. Lim is being investigated for comments about the possibility of a non-Malay being appointed as the Prime Minister. Meanwhile, JJ will be charged tomorrow for an alleged ex-posting last year linked to Melaka Governor Muhammad Ali Rustam. In response to Lim's case, Zaid said the fact that there is a criminal probe initiated for a non-existent crime of stating a fact about the Constitution has brought the administration of justice into mockery and disrepute. Zaid also called the decision by the Attorney General's chambers to bring criminal charges against JJ for his statement questioning the conduct of a high-ranking government official as appalling. He stressed that protection to free speech enshrined in the Constitution exists to ensure that all quarters, not just the perceived majority, can exercise this right. Zaid also urged Putrajaya to halt the probe against Lim and the AGC to withdraw its charge against JJ.
Moving on to the next story, Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim says he is open to discussing Sultan Johor's suggestion that MACC and Petronas should report directly to the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. Anwar, however, stressed that the suggestions will not affect the federal constitution.
Every view and proposal can be discussed without ignoring the federal constitution, parliamentary democracy and constitutional monarchy, said Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. Anwar said this included Sultan of Johor, Sultan Ibrahim Sultan Iskandar's suggestion that more responsibilities be given to the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, including direct oversight of MACC and Petronas. Speaking to reporters in Kuala Lumpur last night, Anwar said Sultan Ibrahim's views will not influence national policies and the country's principle of constitutional monarchy. He was commenting on Sultan Ibrahim's recent suggestion that the anti-graft body and the State Oil and Gas Company to report directly to him when he becomes Yang di-Pertuan Agong. Earlier, former two-time Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad expressed disagreement with Sultan Ibrahim's suggestion regarding MACC and Petronas. He stressed that the separation of powers between the executive and the monarch must be preserved for the betterment of the country. When asked to comment on Mahathir's statement, Anwar said he had no problems with the former Premier's views and Sultan Ibrahim's proposal could be negotiated amicably.
Earlier, Dr. Mahad is of the view that the next Agong's wish for control over MACC and Petronas raises questions.
Dr. Mahathir Mohamad has expressed caution following remarks by Sultan Ibrahim, Sultan Iskandar, that the MACC and Petronas should report directly to the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. The former Prime Minister said the federal constitution does not provide for this and it will raise serious questions about the role of the Malay rulers as constitutional monarchs. Sultan Ibrahim will be crowned as the next Agong on January 31st. The future king had expressed a want for control over the MACC and Petronas during an interview with Singapore's The Straits Times published on Sunday. He said the state oil and gas company should report directly to him, while royal authority over the graftbuster would ensure its independence. Sultan Ibrahim also opined that a conference of rulers had a greater role in the appointment of judges without executive interference. Mahathir says pressure must be put on Parliament to ensure the separation of powers between legislature and the monarchy. The former Premier has a tenuous relationship with the Johor royal family, having frequently traded barbs with both Sultan Ibrahim and Crown Prince Tunku Ismail. The animosity between Mahathir and the Johor monarchy dates back to the early 1990s, when Mahathir's government then removed royal immunity from prosecution over controversy involving the Johor royals.
Despite being appointed Plantations and Commodities Minister, Johari Abdul Ghani says he still chairs the government's One Malaysia Development Berhad Task Force.
InsyaAllah sekarang at this moment I'm still, right? Okay.
So takkan dia gantikan dengan sesiapa?
Itu nanti tengoklah siapa ada berani buat lah.
Johari also revealed that Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim wanted him to be involved in the efforts to accelerate and stimulate the economy of the country. On a related matter, Johari said the task force will monitor closely the arbitration request and process by the Goldman Sachs Group over a settlement agreement on the bank's role in the multi-billion 1MDB financial scandal.
Tapi malangnya selepas 4 kali extension kita bagi kepada mereka, dia masih tidak mau bayar first payment, iaitu 250 juta US.
The agreement between the Malaysian government and Goldman Sachs signed in August 2020 requires the investment bank to make payment in 2 parts, a cash payment of $2.5 billion as well as asset recovery guarantee of $1.4 billion.
The government has now moved the Community Communications Department, JCOM, to the Communications Ministry. Its Minister Fahmi Fadzil made the announcements at a press conference in Putrajaya today after the reshuffled cabinet's first meeting.
JCOM was moved to the Prime Minister's department under the administration of Muhyiddin Yassin in 2021 by then Communications Minister Saifuddin Abdullah. The agency, in its current function, was rebranded from the BN-era Special Affairs Department or JASA, often associated with government propaganda. JCOM was entangled in a controversy last month when former academician Muhammad Agus Yusof resigned from his post as the agency's Director General. The announcement was made several hours before he was implicated in a viral video of him allegedly having a lewd conversation with another male, which is now being investigated by the police. Fahmi also confirmed that JCOM's new chief has not been appointed yet.
Saya belum lagi sempat bertemu dengan pihak JCOM, jadi saya perlu beri mereka masa dan ruang untuk memberi taklimat dulu sebelum saya boleh beri komen lanjut. Jadi kita tunggu mungkin beri beberapa hari ya, untuk kita finalize beberapa perkara.
Meanwhile, Fahmi backed the Prime Minister's decision to split the ministry and expressed his confidence in Gobind Singh Dio heading the new ministry.
Oleh kerana dalam New Industrial Master Plan 2030 telah ditegaskan ekonomi digital akan mainkan peranan yang sangat penting dalam pembangunan ekonomi negara kita, maka keputusan untuk memisahkan dan menjadikan digital itu satu kementerian on its own bagi saya adalah satu keputusan yang bukan hanya tepat tapi tepat pada masanya.
Meanwhile, Fahmi invited members of the opposition's bloc to come forward and voice their disappointment so that both parties can work on the solutions together.
Bagi mereka yang merasa kecewa, nasihat saya ialah jangan pendam rasa kecewa itu, tampillah ke meja rundingan seperti yang telah ditegaskan oleh Perdana Menteri. Kita putuskan beberapa perkara dan kita hidup berharmoni, rukun, aman, damai. Kita bentuk satu modus vivendi yang baru supaya fokus kita kepada masalah rakyat dan kita dapat bangunkan negara ini bersama.
On November 28th, Bukit Gantang MP Syed Abu Husin Hafiz Syed Abdul Fasal became the 5th Bersatu lawmaker to announce his support for Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. Before him, the 4 Bersatu MPs who switched their allegiance were Zulkarnain Abdul Khalid, Kuala Kangsar, Suhaili Abdul Rahman, Labuan, Muhammad Azizi Abu Naim, Gua Musang, and Johari Kecik, Jeli. Earlier, Fahmi was asked to comment on the opposition's criticism of Anwar's recent cabinet shake-up, which failed to deliver on the promise of a lean cabinet. Commenting further, Fahmi stressed that the formation of the cabinet this time is much better in terms of total ability and experience compared to the previous administration.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to Kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook for the latest news update. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm PR Nadia. Thanks for watching.